Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimbo Fisher just had a complete meltdown after addressing some comments made by Nick Saban directly saying that Texas A&M paid for their 2022 recruiting class. Jimbo Fisher says someone should have slapped Nick Saban after the Texas A&M NIL claimed. This article says Jimbo Fisher was enraged by Nick Saban accusing A&M of using NIL to their advantage on the recruiting trail, stating the Aggies bought their players. In a passionate press conference on Thursday, Fisher took issue with Saban, basically calling him a cheater, and said someone should have slapped him so he would have learned not to cry wolf. So, Nick Saban calls Jimbo a cheater. I've called Jimbo a cheater about 500 times because he is a cheater. And this is a complete pathological liar, and you're seeing someone... I don't think Jimbo thought this was going to happen. You know, it's one thing for someone like Lane Kiffin to call you out, kind of a lower-end coach like that. But when the big guy, the so-called college football greatest coach of all time, comes after you and actually says, listen, everyone uses NIL, but they used NIL a little bit differently to acquire their 2022 class, which, guys, when it comes to did Texas A&M cheat or did they not? You don't even have to look into it. All you have to do is go to their recruiting page, see that they signed 5-star defensive linemen in one single class and say, yeah, that probably wasn't organically done by the great recruiters at Texas A&M. I'm guessing there was a little bit of booster money, a little bit of NIL money involved in getting those kids to come to their school. The other thing I want to talk about is this Travis Hunter thing. Travis Hunter he put out a tweet denying that he got, $1 million. I'll talk about that in a second. But first, when it comes to Jimbo and his rant, he says, you can call him anything you want to call me. You ain't calling me a cheater. I don't cheat and I don't lie. Because I learned when I was a kid, if you do, my old man slapped me across the head. Maybe someone should have slapped him. You are a cheater. I'm calling you a cheater. Nick Saban is calling you a cheater. Basically, all of college football ADs called you a cheater when they forced the NCAA to put out a statement saying that they were going to police NIL because you and your program was so out of control when it came to weaponizing NIL to your advantage, and you signed five-star defensive linemen, but no, that's organic. Guys, Jimbo Fisher didn't cheat. They signed the greatest recruiting class in history. That's just because Texas A&M knows how to develop prospects. Yes, come on, dude. Just shut up. Stop lying so much, man. You are digging yourself a deeper grave. And you know what? Maybe people don't like that Nick Saban is saying they're cheating when in the past, before NIL was even a thing, it had been rumored that that Alabama would give players cars and things like that. I mean, Nick Saban did own a dealership and that was happening. But this is just ridiculous. Just shut up. You're a cheater. You are a cheater. You cheated. You weaponized NIL in ways you're not supposed to do it. And you actually hurt kids' futures by your greediness. And I'll tell you exactly why. And this is what Jimbo Fisher does in this little statement to try and guilt trip people. We're going to get to this. Let me get to his quote here. Jimbo Fisher on Nick Saban. The narcissist in him doesn't allow those things to happen, and it's ridiculous when he's on top. Where was that one quote? Here it is right here. First, I want to say it's a shame that we have to do this, Fisher said. It's really despicable. It's despicable that someone can say things about someone, an organization, and more importantly, 17-year-old kids. You're taking shot at 17-year-old kids and their families. No. You do not get to manipulate this situation and swing it like Nick Saban is somehow taking shots at kids. Listen, the kids got paid. Good for them. Nobody is against kids getting NIL money. We're against kids getting strong-armed into choosing schools based off of who is paying them the most money, which will indirectly hamper their future career earnings because it will affect their development. And if you've got five-star defensive linemen going to one school, chances are 2 or 3 of those guys are going to have to transfer out, which in turn will very likely hurt their development. The kids are choosing the school based off of who will pay them the most money, not off of where they have the best relationships, not off of who has the best position coach to get me to the next level. This is the whole issue. So Jimbo Fisher coming out trying to guilt trip people with this quote by saying, oh, you're insinuating we paid all these kids. That's terrible. Making it seem like you're taking shots at young kids, 17-year-old. Nobody's doing that. We're trying to make it to where the kids are choosing schools based off of who can develop them best for the future. And when a kid gets on a campus, when a CJ Stroud gets on a campus and has an unbelievable season, when a Bryce Young wins a Heisman, you can take advantage of the NIL opportunities that come along with the success you are having. And Bryce Young is going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. And CJ Stroud is going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. We are not paying you money just to come to the school like Texas A&M is doing. And Nick Saban did single out Texas A&M. I'm sure Jimbo Fisher is pissed at that because Texas A&M was not the only school that was doing it. They were the most extreme example. I think that's why Nick Saban got mad. Also, Texas A&M finished higher than Alabama in the recruiting rankings and clearly had a better class than everyone, just on paper. I mean, it's a better class. More 5 stars, more high-end players. But other teams were doing it. I also think that's why Jimbo Fisher is really angry because Nick Saban is singling out Texas A&M when Texas A&M is not the only example, but they are the most extreme example. And then Jimbo Fisher, I mean, this is just shut up, dude. You're just lying. You're digging yourself a deeper hole. I guess it doesn't matter to him, but he says, quote, "We never bought anyone. No rules were broken. Nothing was done wrong. It was all the way in we do things, the ethics of how we do things. And these families, it's despicable that a reputable coach can come out and say when he doesn't get his way or things don't go his way." So, wow, this guy is having a complete meltdown after Nick Saban called him out. What an absolute buffoon. You cheated, man. Just shut up. Just shut up. So what I think Jimbo Fisher thought was going to happen, he thought no one was going to call him out on this because, again, it's not like Texas A&M was the only program doing this in 2022. And by the way, there are programs that are really ramping up their efforts in 2023 to where it's not going to be as blatant like it's only Texas A&M. Like Florida is a team that's getting crazy with the NIL. We'll see what recruits they're able to land in 2023. Miami, Texas, Tennessee with the 5-star quarterback. So there are other teams, but I just think Jimbo Fisher thought the situation would go away. Everyone's paying kids, right? That's the excuse Texas A&M fans use. Everyone is paying kids. That is such a disingenuous, manipulative thing to say because when you look at how these programs are approaching NIL, completely different strategies, and you are not allowed to have your boosters pay kids just to come to your school and set up NIL sponsorships just because the kid commits to a school. That's exactly what was happening with Texas A&M. And the idea to come out and say, we never bought anyone, no rules were broken. Okay, guys, I always go back to this recruitment because it is the craziest NIL recruitment we've seen, or at least I've seen. LT Overton was a 5-star defensive lineman. He was the number 3 overall player in the class of 2023. Texas A&M signs their superstar 2022 class that includes, I believe, 3 5-star defensive linemen. LT Overton then reclassifies from the class of 2023 to the class of 2022. So he has to make his decision, right, on where he's going to play because, the signing day had already come and passed, and he chooses Texas A&M. after Texas A&M had already signed 3 5-star defensive linemen. This kid's a pass rusher. He's another defensive lineman. Do you really think, even if you really believe in your athletic ability, do you really think if you're not getting paid, he would be going to Texas A&M to have to compete against all those other 5-stars when this kid could have went to Alabama? He has any school. Ohio State, Alabama, they were Georgia. Georgia just had 5 first-round picks in the NFL draft. But no, he goes to Texas A&M because Jimbo Fisher wants you to believe because their culture is so good. Just shut up. Stop lying. You're a buffoon, and you are very, very... It's disgusting that Jimbo Fisher really thinks people are going to buy this. It really is. Now, let's get to this Travis Hunter thing. So, Nick Saban also came out and said Travis Hunter got... over $1 million to go to Jackson State. And Travis Hunter responds by saying, I got $1 million, but my mom still stay in a 3-bedroom house with our 5 kids. So this Travis Hunter thing, again, these are situations. Let's use context clues, guys. This kid going to Jackson State, there was an NIL deal involved. This kid, there's no way he'd be going to Jackson State without an NIL deal. I'm not going to get into it. It's not like it's an NIL deal where you immediately get $1 million up front, right? It's throughout the entire contract. So like Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders, just be quiet, guys. We know it's an NIL deal. People are not ignorant. You're not going to Jackson State if you're the number 1 overall player in I guess the only thing I guess you could say, historically black college, maybe he wants to, start a new path. But still, guys, the deal was widely reported on National Signing Day. Travis Hunter was a kid that was committed to Florida State for 2 freaking years, and then on National Signing Day, he flips to Jackson State, and now Deion Sanders is denying. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. The kid takes money, whatever. It's a capitalist society. I understand. If you can get paid, whatever. But stop lying. Just stop lying. So I just thought that was, it's whatever. But again, can we use context clues? You go to Jackson State. There's a rumor of a massive NIL deal funded by Barstool Sports. And then, you're trying to swing at Deion Sanders, Travis Hunter. They're trying to say they didn't get paid. Just be quiet about it. I don't understand. It's not a big deal. If you get paid, it is what it is this day and age. If the NCAA is not going to police it, this is something that Texas A&M boosters found out before anyone. They just started throwing around money. They realized the NCAA wasn't doing a thing about it, so it got real crazy with them. And Jimbo Fisher thought nobody would call them out because it's like, now you're going after young kids. Nobody's going after young kids. The kids can make their money. It's actually hurting the kids because they're choosing to go to a certain school based off of a small current monetary gain. It's like, oh, I want that Ferrari. If I go to Alabama, I can't get that Ferrari right now because I don't have an NIL deal. But I have a Texas A&M NIL collective offering me a Ferrari if I just go to their school. I get a Ferrari as a true freshman. I'm going to go do that. Never mind the fact that Alabama develops players at a way higher rate than Texas A&M and could put you in position for the future better than Texas A&M. That's the real issue. So while Jimbo Fisher tries to guilt trip everyone by saying you're going after young kids by saying that they got paid, your program and your boosters are the ones that are hurting kids' future, Jimbo. Your program is. So you want to use that excuse? It's disgusting, guys. And Jimbo Fisher just said, what? Oh my goodness. It is crazy. And it's just like, you got to shut up, dude. You cheated. You got caught. Everyone knows you cheated. And actually, Nick Saban frickin' called you out. Possibly the greatest coach in college football history called you out. Sit down and shut up. Stop crying like a 2-year-old. You and your boosters and your NIL blatantly weaponized it and blatantly cheated. And college football would be better if your program received a bowl ban and you were banned from coaching. That's what I think. Why can't we just all come together and bowl ban Texas A&M? Seriously, I've said this I said this back when they signed their class. Bowl ban them. Just bowl ban them. It would be great for the sport because it would tell boosters at other schools who looked at the success Texas A&M had and said, listen, Texas A&M had all that success recruiting due to their NIL. We can do that. But now if you bowl ban Texas A&M, all those boosters are going to say, we don't want to get bowl banned. We're scared. The goal in college football is to take the boosters out of the sport and make sure NIL is an on-campus entity. You want NIL on campus. We don't want boosters offering kids money just to go to a school. You want the kid to go to the school and then have the chance. You go to Florida. You get the chance when you're on campus to sign deals. You don't get to sign deals just off the simple fact that you're a 5-star recruit and you might go to that school and you get the NIL deal because you commit to the school. That's what we're trying to eliminate. That's what we're trying to eliminate. And this guy, to blatantly just go and lie. What a pathological liar. What an absolute... And it's just like, dude, you need to learn to shut up. You got caught cheating. It is what it is. Just shut up. You don't even have to... You don't have to deny... You do not have to deny it. You don't have to say anything. Same thing with Deion Sanders and the Travis Hunter situation. Just be quiet. Who cares? You got away with it. And the NCAA already put out a statement saying they're probably not going to retroactively go back and punish you. You got away with it. Be quiet. You're a cheater. Enjoy. Bye-bye. Guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.